Well, hello everybody. I don't know about you, but I sort of have the blues this week. Every day I got the blues. A famous blues player once said that. In any case, you may have the blues too, so it might be a good opportunity for you to learn how to play the blues. My name is Futch. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dulcimerica. As promised, I'm going to show you some more things I'm teaching at the Quarantine Fall Festival coming up October 2nd through the 5th. 2nd is not a workshop day, it's just concerts. The 3rd and 4th are workshops and concerts. And the 5th is 2 concerts. So it goes Thursday through Sunday, and registration is open right now. I have a few classes that are still open here. I got one sold out and a few that have just 2 or 3 spaces left, including my Mountain Dulcimer Delta Blues workshop. There's only 2 seats left as of Friday morning. So this is a little quick step intro to getting into playing the Mississippi Delta Blues on the Mountain Dulcimer. I'm going to have you playing here very, very quickly, so just follow along, do what I do, and we'll get you playing those blues so you can work out whatever it is you need to work out. So let's go ahead and start off here with the fact that I'm in DAD tuning, and I do not need any extra frets to do this, so you'll be just fine without the 1.5 on your dulcimer. We'll be doing a blues in the key of E. And a blues in the key of E is going to be a 1-4-5 chord progression. That's a very popular progression that involves the major chords in every key. In the key of E, those chords are E, A, and B. We're going to start with a bar at the 1st fret. And that's going to be E. Then we're going to go to a bar at the 4th fret, that's A. And then a bar at the 5th fret, that's B. We could also call those our 1, 4, and 5 chords. And they are at the 1st, 4th, and 5th frets, just to make it as easy as pie. All right, so now we know our chords. Those are the only chords we're going to use. We'll dress them up a little bit, but that's basically all we're going to do. So, with those chords in mind, let's go ahead and talk about the form and how we move those chords around. The Mississippi Delta Blues is a 12-bar form for the most part, so that means think about it like this. We have 4 measures 3 times. 4 measures on the top, 4 measures in the middle, and then 4 measures on the bottom. So for the first 4 measures, this is easy. We play the 1 chord at the 1st fret, E. 4 measures, that's it. For now, let's go ahead and use a straight quarter note 1, 2, 3, 4 strum. Let's do 4 measures of the 1 chord. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. We're 1/3 of the way through the pattern. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to go to that middle section, the creamy center of our blues, 12-bar blues. That's going to have 2 movements. The first movement's going to go to the 4 chord for 2 measures, 4th fret for A. And then we're going to go 2 measures back down to the 1 chord. So 2 measures at the 1st fret for E. Here is our middle 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3 from the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now down to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've now taken care of measures 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the middle. And now we only have the bottom 4, and that's going to take us home all the way to the end of the progression, and then home is the 1 chord, and that's what home is. We're going to be saying take it home and going back in that direction. So the final 4 has the most movement of any of the areas here. We're going to be going to the 5 chord for 1 measure at the 5th fret, B. Then we're going to go down and play the 4 chord for 1 measure, that's A. Then we come down to the 1 chord for 1 measure, that's E. And on the 12th measure, we're going to come back up to the 5 chord, B. Now, the 5 chord always leads very naturally back to the 1 chord. It sounds so natural to come home that way. So what the 5 chord is doing is it's setting us up for another trip around that 12-bar progression. And from there, we start that 12 bars over again. There's no intro, there's no outro, there's no verse, chorus, bridge, pre-chorus. It's one form, 12 bars, 3 chords, that's it. So let's go ahead and play through the whole thing using our quarter note strum, and then we're going to add some punch to our rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. 7, 2, 3, 4. 8, 2, 3, 4. 9, 2, 3, 4. 10, 2, 3, 4. 11, 2, 3, 4. 12, 2, 3, 4. And back to home. And we're ready for the next pass around. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and change the strum because that quarter note vibe is not really happening. Let's go ahead and do something with a bit of a shuffle, a heartbeat rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. Thump, 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 thump. Now, I don't want to freak you out. I'm just going to mention this one time and then we'll leave it alone. But when you're playing the blues, typically in this feel, we're not actually playing 4/4 time. We're playing 12/8 time. There's 12 beats in the measure, and the eighth note gets the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just so you can see how long a measure is if we were to count it in 12/8. But you can count it in 4. And why is that? Because 12/8 time is basically 4 times 3. We've got 4 groupings of 3/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you can see how that 12/8 pattern and the 4/4 pattern meet in the middle and why people tend to count it in 4 and not in 12/8. But this is really important because when we come up to our soloing and messing around, we always want to make sure that we're rocking in that triplet pattern, triplet, 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 and it speaks more to that blues style than something that's more 4/4 time influenced. All right, so here's how the rhythm goes with our shuffle, our heartbeat rhythm, and you can play around with this and kind of have some other loosey-goosey things going on. Middle 4. So you can open that up and change it a little bit. Maybe something like this. And, you know, change up the strum a bit. I'm going to show you what I was doing there with my left hand here in a second. So we have our form. If you ever are second guessing yourself about the form and when to change those chords, how long to hold some and when to move others, I'm going to now refer you to the world's most famous blues television theme song. Batman, 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 Batman. Okay, easily enough, so you'll remember it. It'll be stuck in your head and it'll tell you when to change those chords. Now let's add another layer to our chords. So far we just have these bar chords, and because we're not playing the full chord, they don't have as much impact. So we need to do something else to kind of keep things hip and groovy. So we're going to throw in something I call 6s and 7s. From the bar chord, If you take a look at where we are at, and just ignore my 1.5 fret for a second, we've got this pattern of a wide space between the nut and the fret, wide space between these frets, and then a narrow space here. And our bar is located at the bottom of that configuration of wide, wide, narrow. It gives us all of these cool blues tricks. And one of the cool tricks is when your bar is down here, if that's the bottom of the box and that's the top of the box, the middle, on the middle string, you could drop your thumb in there and grab the major 6th scale degree. So why is that important? Why is that middle string, middle of the box, going to make some difference for us as a blues player? Well, let me add one more thing to that. That's a 6, as I mentioned. Right above it, at the top of the box in this narrow fret, is the minor 7th scale degree. The minor 7th is what we use for dominant 7th chords, and the dominant 7th chord is really, really big in blues music. So what we're doing is we're messing around, adding motion between the 6th, the major 6th, and the flat 7th, the minor 7th. Now that's all gobbledygook for most of you, but if I simply play them, you'll understand why this is so important. So that would be playing it in the shuffle and rocking the 6s and 7s. I'm bouncing my thumb on the middle string at the fret above where my bar chord is. I'm largely laying on that 6, but sometimes I'm coming up, occasionally I'm coming up to the 7, right? And I like to lean on that right before I change the chord. Then notice when I went to the 4 chord, I could do the exact same thing because look at our pattern. Wide space between the frets, wide space between the frets, narrow space. Put your bar at the bottom of the box. Here's your middle of the box with your 6, top of the box with your 7. Come back to your 1. Go to your 5 chord and we're presented with a choice because we've got this 6th fret, 6.5 fret, and the 7th fret. So if you don't have a 1.5 fret, this is exactly what's going on down here. And you saw what I did down here. I played my bar. I didn't play the next fret up. I played up here because if you remove that fret, we've got our pattern. So if we start from here and we just forget about this fret, there's our pattern of wide space, and narrow. That's the middle right there, 6.5 fret. So that's going to be our 6, and then your 7, your flat 7 is going to be at the 7th fret, right up here on the middle string. We're not there at that 5 chord long enough to do a whole bunch of that, so I tend to do it just and then get out of there. Now hold the phone. What the heck am I doing? You've heard that. I've done it a couple of times. What am I doing there? I've changed the shape of the bar chord and I've gone down one fret rather, on the melody string. So from a 5-5-5 to a 5-5-4. Wow, that sounds cool and, dare I say it, even bluesy. If I'm up here at the 5th fret and I go down 1 fret on the melody string, I'm playing now the minor 7th, the same minor 7th that's at the top of the box. And that minor 7th scale degree is what gives us our dominant 7th chord. And again, dominant 7th chords are really popular and very powerful for the blues music experience. So do the same thing at your 1 chord, just don't play the melody string, or don't fret it, but strum it to where it's a 1-1-0. That is an E7, is a dominant 7th chord. Dominant 7th chords have 4 notes. They have the root, the major 3rd, the perfect 5th, and then they have a minor 7th interval. So we're only playing, in this case, 3 notes, but we're getting the important notes in there. So we're just going to drop that, just like that. Same thing at the 4th fret. We're going to go 4, 4, and 3. And that gives you another option for your dominant 7th chord. You can also play that by playing the bar and going to the top of your box on the middle string. Now let's just play it and see how we can play with those 6s and 7s and also use this alternate way of playing the dominant 7th chord with our changes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're cooking with gas. We got one more little thing to add here. And of course, I'm just glossing over a lot of the details. Those details can be found in my Mountain Dulcimer Blues workshop coming up at the Quarantune Fall Festival. This next element here allows you to do some licks and other things while you're playing. They're not solos. Solos is where you take that entire 12-bar form and just go crazy over the top of them. What we're doing here is just little licks as we move the chords around, like this. All right, so here's what's going on. Basically, we've got, let me use the 4 chord to demonstrate this. The blues vocabulary is very, very unique. What we've got is a mixture of a minor scale going over the top of major changes. That creates a collision that you won't find anywhere else but in blues music. So what we've got here for our scale is the minor pentatonic. Then we also have the hexatonic scale, also known as the blues minor pentatonic. Has that flat 5 note in there. Very bluesy sounding indeed. So that is our scale, and we use that. And with a little bit of expression now, we've got ourselves the voice of the blues. One more thing as you're soloing and doing your moving around is don't worry about being perfectly placed with your pitch and your rhythm. Shy a little bit off of the road because that is where the magic lies. Finally, on your last note, the last time through the piece, you don't want to end on the 5 chord because that would leave people hanging and they wouldn't be very happy about that. So that's why you hear the blues guys always say, take it home. That means don't leave them hanging on the 5, take it home to the 1 and end it there. And by the way, if you play it as a 1-1-0 and play an E7, that's even better. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick study of the Mississippi Delta Blues on the Mountain Dulcimer, and I hope you'll join me October 2nd through 5th for the Quarantune Fall Festival. Not only am I teaching blues, I'm teaching all kinds of other subjects, and there is a little bit of space in these Mountain Dulcimer classes. I'm also teaching 2 ukulele classes. Space is running out, though, and tickets are just $12.49 for each of the workshops. That's super, super cheap. And you can do it from the comfort of your own home. So think about joining all of us here, and 5 concerts. Get your concert all access pass, pick up a t-shirt, and you're good to go. A festival in your own home. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll be back next week with more, and I'll probably be doing this from Winfield, Kansas at the Walnut Valley Festival, and I'll share some of that with you very soon. Thanks again, everybody. Blues on.